ready, open, and as fabulous as possible. I am your sweet Melanie, and you are now listening to Girl What? So, at the top of the show, we always start with our introduction of our guests, and they will first introduce our drink of the day. Marlon, are you ready?
Ready. Our drink of the day is called the Chic Promise, and it contains 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen. It's the basis for all other drinks. It's refreshing, nutritious, and delicious. We call it the Chic Promise. It's water, y'all. Hey.
Nothing wrong with a little H2O. I'm drinking a little sparkling H2O, but it's
Hey.
All right. Well, we're not going to wait too much longer. Let's just get right into it. So the next portion of the show is Mel's Moment. And we found my Mel's Moment music. Mel's Moment. All right. So let me just start by saying I'm so glad that I have these ladies on the show tonight. I can't wait for you to meet them. But I am a true believer that if you say something, you actually will speak it into existence. So let me introduce myself to those of you who've never listened to the show. This is your first time, you're a newbie. I am Mel Shin, and I'm what you call a mogul in process. And I truly believe that I am and will continue to be a mogul. So I'm back to teaching. I've been on break. Those of you that know me or have listened to the show, you know I am one of those, what do you call, serial entrepreneurs, as well as I have a job. And so I am a teacher. And so we're back. I teach first grade gifted. We are in the South Florida area. I am in the South Florida area rather. And so we are making the best of it virtually. I know you all have heard the horror stories or, some systems working, some systems not working, but I'm not even going to get into that. I will say this: when you are a good teacher, you make it do what it do. And so I am truly grateful that my students, my parents, we have figured out that we're going into the 3rd week now. Yes, the 3rd week. And we are making the best of it. My children are learning. I try to keep them excited. Yes, it's long. We're on the computer all day, but hey, my kids are learning. As I can only speak for mine, but they are learning, and I'm so grateful to God for that, because it didn't have to be that way. My kids are showing up. I got a full house, and I'm grateful. Moving right along, what else have I been up to since you last heard my voice? Well, I've been trying to do some more adventurous workouts. I've done some bike riding with one of my sorority sisters that I feel comfortable with. We've been riding this thing out since COVID began, as well as another sorority sister, same thing. We've been riding it out since COVID began, her and her husband. She and her husband, myself and my husband, we call ourselves Fam Bam. I love them to dearly. So we have been starting this couples 5-mile walk on the weekends. So we did that today. That was fun. So yeah, I'm just trying to find adventurous things to, make the best of this situation. Moving right along, my husband and I have a company called Wolo Party Rental. Yes, we are seeing business pick up in terms of people having backyard parties again. We kind of pivoted to virtual parties, which was great. It stretched us. We had to move with the program, with everything that's going on. But now business is starting to pick back up physically. I just ask that you all continue to be safe. We try to set the tables up, and the tables and the chairs up 6 feet apart. Wear your mask, but business is happening. Y'all are starting to hang out with close friends and family. So Thank you. Again, Wolo Party Rental. That's our other business venture. T-shirts. We do custom T-shirts. Also, we were featured on the MIA Magazine live show called Soul, and our T-shirt brand was featured. We offer all kind of T-shirts that are basically focusing on our Black community. We have designs that we create, but then we also do custom designs as well. So if you have certain messages you want to communicate without saying it, hit us up. www.teamshanenterprises.com. We can make the T-shirt for you. So yeah, that's another one that we're doing. We've been selling out of the vote ones. Everybody wants to vote T-shirts, and everybody wants the Biden and Kamala Harris T-shirts. That doesn't mean that we can't do other T-shirts, but that's what we're selling. And so hit us up. Virtual tutoring, virtual decorating is still in the play. I'm a decorator. I have, clients. I've been doing virtual consultations. So hit me up. Tutoring, same thing. Virtual tutoring consultations. Get at us. We do it all. I'm a mogul. I mean, at the end of the day, I do what I love. I love it. God stretches me. It makes me feel balanced, and I really feel like everything that we're doing is empowering the Black community. So let me see. Black women who love indoor living spaces. The group that I created. We are now up to 9,000 members, and I just started it a month and a half ago, and I'm so grateful. And let me tell you why. Because I truly believe that when you have your house in order, it gets you to be focused, and it creates a certain vibe within your household that this COVID-19 thing, this quarantine life, we're gonna get into it a little later, but it has been some blessings to come out of it. So kudos to my sisters from Black Women Who Love Indoor Spaces that are tuned in. You all rock. Thank you for being so transparent about your homes. You all are doing some awesome things. You're being creative. You're feeding off of one another, and I love it. It's keeping us inside. It's keeping us sane. And I really feel like it's helping us mentally as well. So without anything, I don't think I have anything else. The only thing I did want to say, and this is just a thought that I've been, that's been on my mind since the last time we talked. And when you get to know my guests, you'll understand why this is even more relevant. Be intentional about your spending. Black community, we have to be more intentional. And furthermore, be intentional about spending and supporting other people's purpose. Don't neglect their gift. If that's not your gift, utilize and patronize someone who is gifted in that field. That's how we will grow. That's how our dollars will spread and stay in our community. Invest in other people's gifts. And I'm just going to leave it. I'm not going to preach today.
Amen. Hallelujah.
I have to say. Marlis, Christy, introduce yourselves. Christy, you introduced yourself already? Did I miss that? Did it go by fast?
No. Okay. Hey, everyone. Thank you, Melanie, for having me here today. My name is Christy Grace Chambers. I am the president and commander-in-chief of I Am Chic. Christy has it covered. It's a wardrobe consulting business. So I help individuals look beautiful and look their best. I help them to speak their message through what they're wearing and how they present themselves. I also work with corporate clients and have spoken at several large Fortune 500 companies. And that's what I do. I am chic. Christy has it covered in a lot of ways.
Marlis?
My name is Marlis Harvey Diggles, and I am one of the co-authors of the Promise Women's Devotional. 130 women got together during quarantine from 4 countries, 17 states, and we wrote a book. And the book is all about the promises of God and how those promises evidence in our lives. It's basically a testimonial book by topic. And it just really is a blessing to just be in covenant with other women that some I know, a few I know, but most I don't. But we were able to join together and put a really incredible book together during this blessed quarantine, as you said.
All righty. And I'm going to get into how I know these ladies a little later, but let's get right into hot topics. We've had some juicy stuff. We've had some sad stuff to happen since I was last on. So the first thing I want to start with, and I've been starting with this topic for the last 3 shows, I think. But so it appears that Breonna Taylor, her family, they are awaiting the I guess how the trial will proceed right now. Trying to find where I wrote it. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm like, one second. So anyway, I read, and you all correct me if I'm wrong, but I read that right now in Louisville, they are awaiting how they will proceed in terms of justice for Breonna Taylor. From what I understand, one of the police officers has been fired, but not necessarily
Prosecuted.
Locked up or put into jail, indicted. So they're waiting to find out whether or not he's going to be found guilty, I guess, to give them grounds to indict him. So Breonna Taylor, we need justice for her. So I wanted to start off with. Did you all have anything to say about that? No.
I'm just glad we're still saying her name, and we need to continue to say her name until justice is done.
I agree.
I agree.
Okay. So then next, I'm going to get into the CEO of Pfizer, which is a company that says they will know if the vaccine works by the end of October, the COVID vaccine. I don't know about you all, but I don't plan on being one that they test.
Heck no.
Listen, I told my kids, I'm not an anti-vaxxer. My kids have been vaccinated for polio and some other things, but those vaccines were well tested and prepared to go to market. And so we will not be guinea pigs this year.
Thank you.
Right.
Christy?
I agree. I mean, typically it takes 2 to 3 years, right? Or even up to 5 years. So I'm not down for a 9-month vaccine at all.
All right. And then we lost a great one. This one hit home. He actually was born in the same year that I was born in, 1976, 43 years old, born in South Carolina, died of colon cancer. And this was one of the quotes that really stuck out to me from Chadwick Boseman. He was an actor, an American actor who for those of people who don't know, which I'm assuming that everybody knows him by now. He was an American actor who studied at Howard University at HBCU. He was known for the movies Black Panther, mostly 21 Bridges and Get On Up, where he played James
Brown.
And so here's a quote that really stuck to me that we could probably apply to our topic today. You have to cherish things in a different way when you know the clock is ticking. So your thoughts?
I think the clock is ticking. And hopefully we know that just based on that loss. It was such a surprise, such a tragic loss. it was one of those ones when I heard about it, I was like, oh, that's not true. The internet needs to stop. And when I found out it was actually true, again, it just gives you that moment and reminds you how precious life is and how purposeful we must be each and every day in our lives.
Yeah, I agree. Wow, I haven't even thought of it that way, but yes, our clock is ticking. And I mean, he amazing talent. So I'm just grateful for the time that we did have him on earth, and may he rest in power forever.
Agreed. What I thought was the most interesting point, and I think everybody felt this way, is that he obviously knew that he didn't have long. And what a lot of people have been pointing out is the fact of how close and closed mouth his circle was so that he could fulfill his purpose. And that spoke volumes to me. To pay attention to the fact that you have to really know your circle. And we don't know when our time will be, but it's obvious when he found out, he was on a mission. He was on a mission, and he fulfilled that mission. And I think that's why it was so heartfelt, is that he was hurting and dying, and we didn't know anything. So let's take a moment. I want to take at least a minute just to give him a moment of silence. Okay. So according to CNN, 19 families bought nearly 97 acres of land in Georgia to create a city safe place for Black people. The land sits just east of Macon in rural Wilkinson County, Georgia. The people involved had a clear vision to create a safe space for their Black families. Did y'all know that?
Yeah.
I didn't hear it, but I'm all for that.
and like, yeah, our friends have already been like, can we do that? Like, what, can we replicate that? That's the first thing that came to our minds was, where can we find some land in Texas? Because it's not about exclusion. It's literally just about ownership. It's about safety. It's about, there used to be a place called Black Wall Street where we had our businesses, and everyone is welcome in that space. Black, white, Hispanic, everyone is welcome, but everyone is valued. Everyone is safe. And I think that's the key that maybe some people don't understand. It's not about exclusion. It's really about safety, and it's about power. And I think that's the difference. I think some people would hear that and they would think, oh, that's Black people trying to, that's racism. But I think the difference is anyone would be welcome in that space, but everyone would also be safe in that space.
Agree.
Yeah, and I mean, this is my first time hearing it. So, I mean, even if, I'm just going to go with what Marlis is saying and saying that everyone is welcome. But if it's their own private land, they can do as they please, basically. If it's not an incorporated city or municipality, enjoy. But I want to come visit.
Okay. And I have family in Macon, so I'm like,
I know, right?
But so I think that's actually a good segue to two things that I wanted to talk about. All right, so since the last show, Kamala Harris, who is my sorority sister, and Christy's sorority sister, and Marlis' sister in love.
Yeah.
She is now the official VP pick for Joe Biden. And there has been some conversation that she's not black enough. Ice Cube has had his take on it, but I really try to listen for understanding. And so what I'm hearing, he made a post on Twitter 5 days ago, a video. And so what I'm understanding is that basically it's not necessarily that he's saying not to vote for them. What his argument is that he's promoting a contract with Black America. So in other words, he's saying if a candidate doesn't clearly explain what's in it for the Black community, if they are elected, he doesn't see a point in voting for him. Now, he's not the only one that's speaking that language. John, and I hope I say his name right, John Leguizamo, who's a Hispanic actor. I've seen his face, but I don't really know his name. He's making the same argument. I just saw him on CNN when it comes to Hispanic vote, when it comes to the Hispanic community. What's in it for us? In other words, okay, Ice Cube is saying, you're telling us to vote, but now we want to know, when we vote, what's in it for us? Your thoughts?
They need to go to Biden's website. There is a Black agenda already there. And they all need to take multiple seats, because if you don't go out and vote for Biden, if that's who you're picking, then you're actually voting for someone else. And we cannot have that, not in 2020. So Ice Cube, you know, today was a good day if you go out and vote on November 3rd for Biden and Kamala Harris.
It's not. And here's my take on it. Let's not be deceived. This is politics, and so any candidate can say whatever they want to say. But we have experienced with our own eyes what has happened over the last 4 years. So they can make whatever promises they want to make, or don't make any promises at all. We know what we've experienced over these last 4 years. And just as Christy said, if we do not vote, we can expect more of the same.
And I'm just going to drink my water on that one.
Chic passion.
Be crazy. Y'all better get out there and vote.
Thank you.
For real. It's serious. So anyway, the one thing that Kamala has promised recently, and she was here locally, she actually did a roundtable at Florida Memorial University, which was awesome. She did promise that she would ensure that free tuition and student loan forgiveness for low-income HBCU students would be on her agenda. She did promise that she's gonna try to push for that. I'm just gonna be honest. The one question that I wanted asked, and y'all don't come for me. This is just me, my opinion. Don't come for me.
Come for me not.
I'm not talking to you two. I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
As an educator, as someone who empowers the Black community, I really wanted the question answered. What is going to be done to implement in social studies and history books our real history? What really happened? I want to know that, because I truly feel that when our children know the truth, it will do something for them in terms of be more motivated, be more aware of where we stand in this United States of America. And we need to start dealing with the truth. African Americans, whites, Hispanics need to know the truth. We cannot keep hiding the truth. We won't grow. We won't heal. The truth needs to be in elementary school history books, social studies books, middle school, high school. We need to retrain the thinking. That's my argument. So that's what I wanted to ask her. What are we going to do to change what we are teaching our children? The curriculum that we suggest for them to learn. The truth is not in there. Black Wall Street is not in there.
No.
What are we going to do about it? And I digress. That's it. That's all I have to say. So somebody please get that answer for me.
Well, we need to get a new Secretary of Education or whatever.
That's
Nancy
what it is.
Dubai's position is.
Even before her, it never existed.
True. True.
It needs to be a conversation. It may be, but I want.
Well, part of that conversation is going to center around what we're doing now. Again, the quarantine put us. I'm an educator as well. You don't know that, but I'm also an educator. And what the quarantine did was it brought us home and gave us the opportunity and the responsibility to begin to educate our own children. And I heard you say that you tutor. And so it's just, I would love to see our true history in the history books, but I also am excited for us to take responsibility, be it as parents or church members or aunties or uncles, to continue to share those stories and to write those stories down and to teach those stories to our children, regardless of what anybody at a textbook company does. We got this, and we need to speak up and teach our children.
Yes, I agree. All right. According to CNBC, number 45 says everyone knew the coronavirus was airborne in February. It's no big thing. Trump rallies are still indoors, outdoors. What y'all think?
Oh Lord!
I'll start by saying, personally, in my life, from March until today, I have lost, and no one was diagnosed with the coronavirus, but I have lost 10 people that I knew personally. And so for anyone to say that nothing is going on, nothing's happening, this is what has happened to me. I lost my brother, I've lost church members. And so for anyone to act as if nothing is occurring, there's nothing happening, there is no virus, it's just not true. I have the funeral program, this is real. And so I'm not going to act as if there's nothing occurring. There have been more deaths. I'm not talking about in the world, I'm talking about in my personal circle. I've known more people to pass away since March than I have at any other point in my life. I'm 51 years old and I've never seen death at this rate. And so something is happening. I don't care what you call it. If you don't believe the coronavirus is real, then you can try to explain to me what has occurred. But something has happened and people are dying.
I'm sorry to cut you off, Marlon, but what had happened was.
What had happened, right.
This week, it was revealed that he did an interview and revealed that he knew, like this was an interview in February, that he knew about it. And they have him recorded talking about the fact that he knew it was deadly. He knew it was a problem. So what he's saying is, I quote, everyone knew the coronavirus was airborne in February. So this is his rebuttal to when it all leaked, his conversation leaked. Everyone knew the coronavirus was airborne in February. It's no big thing. That was his response. That was his rebuttal.
Yeah. That's sad. And we knew nothing because we were told very little, and I mean, remember we were like, oh, don't touch cardboard because it lives on cardboard for 3 days, or don't touch. I mean, I was afraid to order anything. I didn't want to touch plastic, cardboard, anything. Just stay in and wear gloves. So that is a lie. The lie detector test says it's a lie. That lies everywhere.
And if he knew, that's horrible. It's horrible. But Somebody voted for him. 40% of America voted for him. They love him. So what does that say? But I'm gonna move on from that. AP News says Kansas City Chiefs were booed by Texans when taking a racial justice stand moments before kickoff of their first game. Booed. They decided they were gonna come together as one, both teams, locked arms in a stance for racial justice, and were booed.
Yeah. I'll just say this podcast is about comfort levels, and I'm not comfortable with Americans right now. And I really, really loved the NFL so much. And when Colin Kaepernick started taking a stand by kneeling, I actually stopped watching the NFL and spend my Saturdays watching college football now, because I do love the sport, but I'm just not feeling the NFL, and I'm not feeling Americans right now.
I agree. Marlon?
I was just going to say, I was actually thinking along those same lines. It's about, moving out of our comfort zone. And that's what 2020 has done for us. It has really reframed a lot of how we think and how we behave, how we interact with one another. I'm not a sports fan. I have friends who love the game, love football. I don't. And so it's been an interesting thing for me to observe how people have reacted to this. My thoughts have always been that these, I never really felt that they valued the voices of the athletes. And so it's been an interesting thing to watch unfold. Very sad.
Shout out to the NBA though.
Yeah.
They've been standing their ground. LeBron he started a movement, and I appreciate the NBA even more now. So the Dolphins, bringing it locally, because I'm in South Florida, Chrissy's in South Florida. The Dolphins had their first game today, but before the game, they were saying that they were going to stay inside when they did the national anthem. Now, I ain't watch it. Did they? Did y'all? Oh, Chrissy, did they stay inside?
Nope, not giving eyes to the NFL right now.
If you know if they staying inside, the Dolphins staying inside, let me know. Oh, nobody's watching. Everybody watching tonight said they ain't watching the NFL. Dolphins,
okay.
If you listening, did they stay inside? Because if they didn't stay inside, I'm not watching them. And I'm gonna leave that there. All right.
Yeah. So, and does the Dolphins coach identify as Black?
I don't know.
Okay.
I need to know.
He looks Black, but I don't know.
That's a good question. Somebody tell me.
Okay.
Because my husband is a huge Dolphin fan, but honey, if they didn't stay inside and if the coach doesn't identify as Black, honey, the Dolphins ain't gonna be watching the Shinholster playing. All right, I'm gonna move on. 3.3 million acres burned, at least 33 dead as wildfires spread in Sierra Madre, California. A hurricane is headed to New Orleans. A lot. It's a lot to take in. It's a lot going on.
Yeah.
I don't think we really have anything to say about that, other than
global warming.
Let me go back to what he said. Time is ticking.
Mm-hmm.
Time is ticking. We don't know when our day will be. Miami-Dade County Public Schools, according to NBC Miami, could open for in-person learning by the end of the month. That will affect me. I don't want to go. I'm perfectly fine working from home. But we'll see how it plays out. I'm hoping the union steps up. I need my job, so, stay tuned.
This is new. Okay, so I feel so out of the loop. This is news to me. I didn't attend Miami-Dade schools, and I don't have any kids in the school system, but they are looking to go back to school before the end of September?
Governor DeSantis did a press conference with Cavallo on Friday, and according to NBC Miami, MDCPS could open for in-person learning by the end of the month.
Wow. God bless.
He did say it's the parents' choice. So I don't know if they're going to have different hybrid models. I don't know how that's going to work. Stay tuned. I'll let y'all know. Bloomberg is spending $100 million on Biden campaign. That's new news.
It's $100 million?
Yes, focusing on Florida.
Oh, okay, good.
Interesting. All right. So, ladies, that's enough of hot topics. Let's get into our real topic. Y'all ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So I always started with a quote and then hope it kind of creates something where y'all can start elaborating. So before I get into that, let me just tell you how I met these lovely ladies. All right. So I met Marlis first. Marlis and I we are members of this group that started during COVID quarantine life called Black Women Who Love Outdoor Living Spaces. And so it's a group that basically we just feed off each other's ideas, and it has gotten us outdoors. I can't stay from outdoors. I was so disappointed yesterday. It was raining so much, and I wanted to do my planting. I go to Lowe's on a regular basis to plant flowers. So anyway, it's this great group that gets Black women outside doing stuff. So I'm going to let Marlis tell the rest.
Well, from what I can remember, we got into some good trouble because at the time, I think someone had posted a post and it used the E word. And the E word is entanglement.
Oh, yeah.
And apparently when you use that word, your post gets taken down. And so I had a post taken down. And so I commented, ma'am, your post is going to get taken down. And then Melanie chimed in. She's like, yeah, because I said I was in an entanglement with the orchid and my post got taken down. And so we started just communicating with each other and laughing about it. And we decided we should be friends. And so that's how we ended up here.
And now we're here. And I was like, you know what, girl? Great on my show. So Marlis lives in Texas. She is not here. How cool is that?
So cool.
But now has guests from Texas, live and in person. And then Miss Christy was someone referred her to me. Someone that's very near and dear to my heart. She's what I call my soror mom. So for those of you that don't know, I lost my mother. My mother passed away in 2014. So there's a woman who's in my local chapter with me. But prior to us being charter members in the local chapter, we actually met like 15 years ago, sitting underneath the dryer at the hair salon we were going to at the time. And believe it or not, neither one of us had ever discussed AKA or that we were sorority sisters, but we just clicked. We were always there late at night. And so when I became a charter member, I reconnected with her rather. And I adopted her as my soror mom. So anyway, I was telling her that I'm at a space where our businesses are starting to like really take off. And so I've been the type of person, I never wanted to just do pictures for the sake of doing them. It had to be a reason. It had to be a reason for me to, hire a stylist and stuff like that when I felt like our businesses were on another level and ready to go in that direction. I spent most of the years, my husband and I, building the groundwork, building the buzz, building the brand, and now it's time to take the brand to another level. So and nobody knows this. I don't even know if I should say this right now, but I got an email requesting or asking me to be a part of something that's on another level. I'll say that. And so I was talking to my soror mom, and she was like, you know what? I follow this lady. Her name is Christy. And I think she's an AKA, as a matter of fact. And I think a lot of other sorority members know her that we know, and da 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 da. I was like, okay, well, let me check her out. Let me go to her page. And I was like, okay, yeah, all right. So then I emailed Christy, and I was like, listen, I got to do these pictures. I need you. I heard you as AKA. Let's do this. And I'll let Christy tell the rest.
Yeah, so we set up some time and came to her home with my mask on and went through her lovely closet and found some pieces for the photo shoot, and then shopped for some more pieces, and I believe they turned out beautifully. I loved your outfits. I think you look super chic.
So Christy is now my official stylist. And so with that said, I'm going to get into our topic, comfort zone deleted. So I hope that basically we set it up to let you know that sometimes you got to get out of your comfort zone, and you never know where it's going to take you. And believe it or not, right before we came on the show, Marta shared with me that she has a connection with Christy. And so she knows Christy's cousin in Texas. And listen, I know this is not, like you're not a godly show. I'm not here to preach, but I am spiritual, and I do love the Lord. And so I know in my walk and in my journey, in my purposeful journey, God aligns everything for me. So it was not a surprise that this connection happened. As a matter of fact, Martis was supposed to be on the show before this one, or 2 shows before this, the last one, and she had a prior engagement, so it didn't work out. So I know this was by God's design, and our willingness to be uncomfortable as to why this connection happened. So here's a quote. Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. Here's another one. You can only grow if you are willing to feel awkward and uncomfortable when you try to do something new. Comfort zone deleted. Who wants to take the first stab at it? Neither one of you?
I'll go first.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, I think that's one of the things that we kind of leaned into in reference to 2020. It has been, I told my children, I have a senior who graduated from high school this year. He got no real graduation, no prom to speak of, no senior trips. It has been the most uncomfortable, unusual year that any of us have ever seen. Even our parents, my mom is almost 80. She has never lived through anything like this. It has been so unique. It has called us out of our comfort zone in so many ways. And what I found is that the Bible, and again, I believe the Bible, and the Bible tells us, come on. I'm just going to talk to you just for a second about faith. The Bible is filled with all these promises that God has for us. But what I've understood recently is that in order for us to appropriate or to receive those promises, we have to be willing to step outside our comfort zone. The part that I wrote about, and pretty much everyone writes about in the book, is a moment in your life where you are uncomfortable. God calls you to a place that's unusual and uncomfortable, and you have to be prepared to stand on his word, because at that moment, it's either do or die. You are confused, you're off your balance. There are moments in time where you'll be comfortable, and comfortable feels okay, but then there are other moments in time where comfortable is really scary, and comfortable is familiar, but not necessarily good. And so it's really important for us as women to be prepared to step outside that comfort zone. And that moment is where greatness really occurs. I think in the video, you said that's where the miracles happen, because that's where we end and God begins. That's where faith comes into the journey. And so, you know, a lot of times we lean back to what we're accustomed to. When things happen that throw us out of that comfortable place, we kind of revert to doing what we're used to doing, whether it's medicating or drinking or shopping or sleeping, whatever, eating, whatever those coping mechanisms are to keep us comfortable. But in 2020, God said to us, I'm going to make you uncomfortable, and you're going to have to learn to do some new things, and it's going to be okay. It's going to be great. And I'm just super excited for what's happening in this moment and in this time. So many things that, I mean, I'm sitting here right now looking at a ring light. I didn't have a ring light before. I didn't have a ring light. I'm like, I ordered this thing. And so just so many new things have come into my life in 2020 outside my comfort zone. And most of them have been positive. The majority have been a blessing and just taken me and my life and my family and my ministry to a whole different level.
Amen. I agree. Interestingly enough, Marlys, I was thinking faith also, because faith is my spiritual gift. And I personally don't live in the spirit of fear. So when I was asked to speak on this topic of comfort zone deleted, I was just thinking, like, I honestly don't fear much. So I don't know that I like comfort, but comfort is also complacency sometimes, and I like to grow. So, you know, for instance, in 2018, I left what most people would deem like a really good job, but it was so mundane, right? I mean, I was doing the same thing over and over and knew that I wanted more, deserved more, and I know that God was calling me for more. And so I, up and left. And most people would be like, why would you do that? And a lot of people ask, but I had to do it. And, speaking on what has happened since the pandemic and us being in, I mean, a lot of my clients, I go out with them or I go to their homes. And so everything had to shift. So I started every Sunday at 2, this chic fashion chat. And when I tell you that has led to so many opportunities, because I spoke to the people who joined in, the 30 minutes or an hour every Sunday on various topics. And then that led to me being a regular on NBC6 Miami doing segments. And it also led me to be a weekly fashion host on a Facebook Live, MIA Soul, that you mentioned earlier. So, I mean, everyone just really delete the comfort zone, because, and I wore this shirt purposely, it says imagine. So imagine the life you want to live and just do it. Go for it. At least try.
I literally wrote that script. I have it written down. I'm looking at it right now. 2 Timothy 1:7. God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and a sound mind. And I literally wrote that down. So just, cosign.
Just to be transparent, in order to be, and I really feel this, in order to be purposeful, you have to be willing to step out of your comfort zone. When I first started this journey, people thought I was crazy. People thought, oh, she's a teacher, and then she want to do this. She's decorated. Now she want to do this. But I know the vision that God gave me. And
Amen.
The most empowering thing for me in this journey is that I'm witnessing my willingness to step out of my comfort zone and ignore what other people say has empowered so many people in my circle to step out of their comfort zone. Just because I'm like, you're a teacher, but you have so many other gifts. You could teach and do that. And it's okay. And so we're in 2020. And when I came into 2020, I remember recording myself on New Year's Day saying, Melanie, God told me 2020 is going to be 2020 vision, but this is going to be an historical year. And this is going to be the year that God uses you the most for people to understand that what I gave breath into you 4 years ago to empower others, to empower passion, purpose, and people, to be the person that can show you, yes, I'm a teacher. Now, right now, my teacher hat is on, and I'm gonna take this teacher hat off at 150 or 320, and then I transition into another mode. But when I was doing it, people thought I was crazy. So I'm saying that to say, when you make the decision to go outside of your comfort zone, ignore it all. If God gave it to you, follow through with it. It's scary. It's sometimes hurtful because people don't understand you. They think you're crazy. They think whatever. But God will tie all the pieces together. He'll give you different things sporadically, and then it'll tie all together. So, and that's just my, even this podcast, it went from, I'm a very vocal person. I'm very passionate about my Black community, but my voice on social media was not really coming across the way I wanted it to. It was coming across as angry. So I created this platform so that they can see me and feel or hear my passion behind and my message behind, just the words. And Girl What is on iHeartRadio. It is, it went from me telling my husband, Jay, I just feel like I want my voice. I got a message I want to get out. I want to be able to empower women. It was at the time when South Florida wasn't really known for positivity. And so he was like, I'm going to teach you how to use this platform. He did that. And 3 years later, I'm here. I'm here speaking. It was so uncomfortable for me to speak to people on this platform. I started out with the co-host because I wasn't comfortable. And then God had it. That person wasn't as passionate about it as me. And so they were missing a lot of shows, and I ended up having to do it myself. So 3 years later, here we are. Girl What with Christy and Marlis during a very unprecedented time, but it's blessings in it all. So I don't want to keep everybody long. I know Versus is happening tonight with Black Knight and Patti LaBelle, the Queens of Soul. But I did want to ask you all 2 questions. The first one, what prompted you to break out of your comfort zone?
I'll say passion and following God's message to me, because I know that when I do something, it's because He's spoken. Like, it's so strong in my mind, and like I know that that's what I'm supposed to do. So, and again, I feel comfortable doing a lot of things. Like, I'm passionate about travel. So I have traveled to Hong Kong, Scotland, England by myself, and I have not been afraid. So passion is how I get out of my comfort zone.
Marlis, what broke you out?
I think the only thing that could possibly, because I don't know, when I think about myself, there are moments that I think I am a little bit scary. I wouldn't necessarily call myself, I don't know. I'd have to say the word of God and just believing that He's going to catch me. when I fall, and he's going to make things okay. Even if I mess up, that he's going to fix it. And so just, I guess, faith in God, because I definitely, I did it more with my knees knocking and my pit sweating. I mean, I was like, I'm scared. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if it's going to work. My kids tease me a lot, and they're like, your life really ended up better than you thought. I was like, it really did. It really went well. And I don't really take any, it's not necessarily me, because I'm not a shy person at all, but I probably would just be chilling in my comfort zone. And God's just like, I'm gonna need you to do something else. And I'm like, okay, I'll try it. And here I am.
One more question. To someone who's battling with breaking free or doing something or saying something that will shake up their comfort, would shake up their comforting world, what would you tell them?
Marlis, do you want to go?
I'll go. And again, the only thing I really have is the word of God. I would tell them to read the stories. I would tell them to read the story of Abraham, who was in his 90s, who laughed when God told him, you're going to have a baby. He was like, you've got to be kidding. I would tell them to read the story of Jonah, who God told to go to Nineveh. And he's like, I don't want to go. And you'll see what happens there as well. I would tell them to read the story of the man who laid at the pool of Bethesda for 38 years. He was there. It was his comfort zone. It wasn't a good place, but it was where he had been. And when God said, would you be made whole? Do you want to be made whole? That's the question that I would say, I would ask them. Do you want to be made whole? And if you do, the voice of Jesus is there saying, I can help. And so what I would say to them is find your Bible, find the Bible app, go on YouTube, Google it, and start to learn about the Lord Jesus Christ, because he's good. He's good.
Amen. Well said. And I just want to add, if you are in a comfort zone and afraid to get out, I would ask a question also. And that question would be, why? You know, what's holding you back? And Melanie, I go to what you said. You know, oftentimes people are concerned about what other people are going to say, but why? You know, why are you concerned? Because what are they going to do? Are they going to, sponsor you? Are they going to spot you money? Are you concerned? You can't be concerned about what people say, because whatever you do, you are doing it for God and not for people. So if you are in your comfort zone and afraid to get out, then you're really missing out on the life that was meant for you. And we know that, we all want the best for you. And so does God. So, yeah.
All right. So we are right on time. Y'all, this show, I'm getting so many good feedback from this show, y'all. Like, y'all have no idea. And like I said, I know this ain't nothing but God. I already know that. So I'm going to take this time. Marlis, you have something you want me to share with the audience. So I'm going to share it. This is actually my first time sharing on live, but for you, I will.
You can do it.
For you, I will, honey. Hold on.
The Promise devotional is here and ready to roll, and I'm excited to share it with anyone who wants a copy. I'll sign it for you. You can get a copy at my Bitly, DOP Marlis Diggles. You can use PayPal, and I would love to send you a signed copy of the Promise Woman's Devotional. It is God's assurance on the cross for our crown. So whatever you're dealing with, you will find something in this book to help you move out of your comfort zone to the place that God has for you. There's a whole other life on the other side of your comfort zone. So let's get there.
Amen. That's awesome.
Amen.
And Christy.
Yes.
My stylist.
Marlis, that is so good. I mean, literally stepping out of the comfort zone really opens up so many other doors and so many other life happenings. I can probably say that I wouldn't be married right now if I didn't step out of my job that was keeping me so busy. So, it leads to other things. But yeah, I Am Chic. You can find me at iamchic.net, and that's CHIC for Christy Has It Covered. And yeah, I would love to hear from all of you.
All right.
You're definitely going to hear from me. I'm excited to get this.
I'll
get
share.
This
I guess. No,
don't be selfish.
I love it. All right. So I always end. Well, before I end the show, Mel Shin, where can you find me? Everywhere. I'm everywhere. Follow @GirlWhat. Follow Team Shin Enterprises. Follow @Shin Chic Decor by Melanie. Jump on the group for that I now have 9,000 members. Black women who love indoor spaces. Jump on there. You'll fall in love with decorating. And most importantly, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Girl What? GURL What? Please subscribe. And you can catch up on all the shows previous to this one. I am also on iHeartRadio. I am also on iTunes. I am also on Spotify, Google Play, all the digital platforms. Subscribe to my podcast every time I do a new one. Right now you're seeing us visually, but I'm also recording on audio. So don't miss a show. This show was designed, it's my baby under the umbrella of Team Shin Enterprises, where our focus and our mission and everything that we do is to empower passion, purpose, and people. So I always end my show with the same scripture. Colossians 1:16. For by him were all things created that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things were created by him and for him. And ladies, I love y'all. I'm so glad that I was able and blessed to meet you, ladies. I look forward to more endeavors together. You all were the right fit and blessings from God in my life during this time. So you are part of my COVID blessings. And I wish you nothing but success. And whatever I can do to help, I'm here. You got a sister in me, I promise you. Okay, so
same to you.
On that note, ladies, you can end the show with me by saying you have been listening to
Girl What?
And audience, thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed the show, and I'll see you next time. Bye.